Hey everybody, it's Christina Holloway here, and today we're going to talk about some of the toolkits that I create for my clients. And this topic today is about how to handle a situation if you happen to be the one who screwed up. Say you're working on a big project and something just fell apart and it lands on your desk. And the fault kind of starts to lie in some sort of action that you took. So we all screw up, especially when we're younger or newer in our career. You know, these moments can be make or break moments. How do I handle them? How do I show up as a professional? And how do I make sure I can recover from it so that, you know, this doesn't reflect poorly on me going forward? When I work with my clients, we spend quite a bit of time figuring out how you can respond in stressful situations so that you can come across as, one, confident, two, navigating the situation so you're not overwhelmed, and then three, successful, meaning you were able to repair anything in this difficult conversation so that you could move forward. So today we're going to talk about a specific scenario, and in that specific scenario, I'm going to give you 5 statements that you can make in the heat of the moment that helps you ride through that stressful situation so that you can feel like you have control over the situation, and it helps you build your confidence in communicating during stressful times. All right, so let's get started. Number 1, the first thing you want to say is thank you, not I'm sorry. Do not apologize. Do not be the first one to apologize immediately. Always, always make a statement that asks the other person to give you more information. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. What it does is set you up as being receptive to hearing more, and you're not likely to be reacting, which is, I'm so sorry, I can't believe that happened, oh my God. And then more information comes and it really wasn't your fault, but now they already found a scapegoat and you've already apologized for it. Now, if you sent something that was rude or offensive, you may need to apologize to the person you offended. That's fair. But when a mistake happens in an organization, anybody at the leadership level knows that this is more about a breakdown in communication and a breakdown in a system that was supposed to override that mistake. So in reality, you're not really in a position to have to apologize. What you want to do is get more information and understand how you played a part in a bigger breakdown in the system. Making a statement that says, thanks for bringing this to my attention, means you're now going to start the next process, which is learning more about what happened and how your role played a part in what was ultimately a breakdown. And that leads me to number 2. At what point in the process did things derail? Again, you're asking for more information. Can you pinpoint where in the procedure my contribution started to unravel what was happening here? Because what we do want to learn is, how did your actions contribute to something that was already moving forward? Starting to ask, can we unpack this? Can we start looking at reasons why this would have happened? And at what point did everything get to my plate where once I finally sent everything out publicly, it started to fall apart? You're asking for further investigation and a further understanding of how things fell apart. Number 3, let's slow down so we can assess the damage. A lot of times people start to get hysterical or they get very reactive and they start to say, I can't believe you sent that email. I can't believe you did that. I can't believe this happened. And it's okay for you to take control of the situation and say, can we slow down a minute? I want to really understand how this has such a negative impact. So if I ended up sending an email out, can you explain to me why this is so horribly damaging? Because you've now asked, how are we looking at this process and where it fell apart? Because it's never really just one person, unless you really just sent an email and you went rogue and you did it all yourself and you're the only person who was doing that, and you know, then you have a problem. That's you. But if you screw up and it's really not intentional, and you're more likely to be the person who needs to start asking, how did this fall apart and where did I play a part in a bigger failure in the system? So now you're managing someone else's expectations, you're managing someone else's emotions, and you're saying, let's all calm down. We need to calm down so we can figure out where this fell apart and how bad is the damage. Number 4, We're going to start moving into problem solving mode. So I did create a video earlier about, are you a problem solver or are you a fixer? We want from now on for you not to be the person who just fixes everything that comes across your plate. So for example, if an email went out that wasn't supposed to, and a person could say, I can't believe you sent that email out, but you had done all your checks and balances and they were all everything was supposed to be A-okay and it was okay for you to send it out. Then the other half is to not say, let me fix the process for you. Again, this is the same as apologizing. We don't want you to apologize immediately, and we don't want you to fix anything immediately either. Those are the two biggest things that are our reactive response to being blamed for something. Let me apologize so you're not mad at me anymore, and let me fix it so that it goes away quickly. In reality, what we want is to investigate it, slow down, and then figure out how can it be fixed, but not how can I fix it. Unless it's something that's in your area, you're still going to ask, how can we make this right? We're not taking responsibility for making the fix until you know exactly what it is that's going to correct the damage here. And once you've positioned yourself as a problem solver, you'll be able to start brainstorming or even kicking around ideas that will help you and your team, especially the person who's upset, find an answer. And one that's a reasonable answer and one that mitigates the damage. And the fifth one, number 5, once you have a full process in place and you have a new solution or a correction that's going to go out, the last thing you want to do is now you're going to take accountability. I'd like to be the one who sends out that correction. Why? Because you get to own it. When a correction does come forward and you're able to repair, like create a new email, figure out what you're supposed to say in the email, do not write it yourself, make sure that you're writing it with somebody who has context and can help you create something that covers all the bases. At that point, you can say, it came to my attention as the person writing the email, I sent something that wasn't supposed to get sent. I have gone through the procedure to figure out how this happened. And now that we've taken corrective measures, I'm here to just say this won't happen again. We figured out where we had a breach and I'm apologizing. Not to all the people around you who are offended you sent it out, but you're apologizing to the recipients, those who received it by mistake, who are like, why did I get this email? This is confusing. Make sure you know you're apologizing to the right audience. Be the person who says, I'd like to send the email if I can, so that I can be the person who also communicates the solution, not just the person who communicated the mistake. Because this gets you some visibility and it allows you to show up as a corrected version of that employee that they're all looking to for, why did this fall apart? Why did this fall off the rails? So that's it for this video on communicating effectively during a mistake or when something goes wrong. An effective communication toolkit starts out with diffusing the situation, asking for additional details, asking how you can make a fix, and then volunteering to communicate the correction. Do you win all the time? No, but you do know that this kind of communication toolkit is going to help you ride it out. You're going to get panicked. You're going to be very upset. You're going to feel awful, especially if someone said, hey, this was all your fault. I can't believe you did this. So feel those things and then remember, I have statements that I can make that can help rectify this or at least reduce the glare on me while we work on a solution. And that always is the mark of who a true professional is, regardless of how experienced you are. You can still be one of the newest, greenest people who can still manage these types of conversations, because the stress can be overwhelming, especially if you want to be impressive to everybody right in the beginning. We all do. We all want to be really impressive with the work we're doing. So that's it for this video on how to communicate effectively, especially if you happen to screw up at work. I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed this content. And if you find this interesting, please feel free to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And hey, while you're at it, make sure to follow my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.